very serious story to tell you about right now, and you will want to listen to this, particularly if you have a loved one who has served or is currently serving overseas. As Iraqi forces prepare for the battle to retake Mosul from ISIS, they will be backed by the U.S. and some dangerous Iranian-backed militias. The leader of one of those militia groups, this man right here, you probably have not heard his name, but I can guarantee you intelligence officers and our members of the military do know it. Al-Kahzali is his name, and he's seen here taunting the U.S., calling the campaign against ISIS ineffective, and claiming the U.S. really wants to redraw the entire map of the Middle East. He also says that he will go after and kill Americans in that battle to retake Mosul. This guy, by the way, was directly responsible for the execution of 4 U.S. soldiers in 2007, 3 of their families now suing Iran. Our next guest knows Al-Kahzali well. Michael Present is his name. He's a former military intelligence officer who is now an adjunct fellow at the Hudson Institute. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us this story today. When our viewers hear the story of 4 Americans killed, and we have the names and we have the faces of these young men, we can put them up on the screen. Tell us about what happened to these men.
Thanks for having me, Heather. These men, this was a IRGC-directed operation, meaning Iran's Qasem Soleimani directed Al-Kahzali to conduct a kidnapping of 4 Americans to exchange for 4 captive Iranian operatives. Al-Kahzali directed the operation, working with Doc Duke from Lebanese Hezbollah. The kidnapping went wrong, and 4 Americans were executed in the back of a truck. 1 American died on the objective. He received a Silver Star for jumping on a grenade. And he was detained. He was in detention for 3 years, and Iran exerted pressure day 1 on then Prime Minister Maliki to get the United States to release Al-Kahzali. General Petraeus took the intelligence directly to Prime Minister Maliki, showing a direct link between Iran's Quds Force, Al-Kahzali, and the death of those Americans. He's now walking the streets of Iraq. He's more popular than ever, and now he's threatening to kill Americans again. We should listen because he's done it in the past.
All right, so let's just underscore this. So he was involved in the capture of our U.S. soldiers. To many of our viewers, this story will not be familiar to them, even though I know so many of our people follow the story out of Iraq so closely. How did the media, how did so many people manage to miss this story altogether?
Well, we were fighting Al-Qaeda during the surge, but a lot of people don't know that we were also targeting the very same militias that are now part of this coalition. And anybody who was in the military then, or in the intelligence community, can't understand why we are now working with these Shia militias. So that's why it got lost. We were focusing on Al-Qaeda in 2007, but we also targeted Shia militias, to include Al-Kahzali's militia.
So, Mike, as we look at this now, and the U.S. and Iraqi forces, alongside these Shiite militias, intend to take back Mosul from ISIS. The Shiite militias, and this guy who's responsible for killing our young men, our 4 U.S. soldiers, has said that he will go after American troops that he is fighting alongside. Is that correct?
Yes, and he brags that he can wear any uniform in the Iraqi military, meaning that right now his men are part of the Iraqi security forces that our men and women are training and advising. All he has to do is give the order. We should take him seriously because he's done this in the past, and now he's untouchable. He's more popular than ever. He's in a position to actually do what he says, and we should pay attention to this.
Mark, are our U.S. forces being told about this potential threat?
We briefed several units a year and a half ago and realized that 75% of the Americans that are in Iraq right now have never been there before. So the majority of our forces don't know who this man is.
Oh,
their leadership quickly get them up to speed on them. Right. They should get them up to speed immediately, let them know who Al-Kahzali is and Assad al-Haq, his militia group, and get them smart on it and start weeding them out of the Iraqi security forces.
And Mike, the family members of those young men who were horrifically killed, they were executed by this man and his forces. They have a lawsuit now against Iran. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the evidence is strong. The evidence shows that Iran directed these attacks against Americans using Shia militias to include Al-Kahzali's militia, and the Karbala case is one of the strongest. We're set to present the evidence and do all the right things, and they will be able to rely on former intelligence officers and former members of our special operations community to be able to tell